And now the Mickey Mouse Club presents The New Adventures of Spin and Marty. Today, an introduction.
Oh, hello. My name's Marty Markham, and here we are back at the good old Triple R again. This is my third summer here, and boy, what a summer. Oh, here comes Spin. You remember Spin, don't you? He's my best friend, and we sure had a wonderful time together, even if we did get into a couple of silly hassles. Oh, and I think I'd better let him help me tell you about some of the exciting things that happened this year. I'll need help.
Yeah, we had quite a time for ourselves. The trouble started with Marty's car. That's the hopped-up job he and I built last winter. Had Zephyr gears, hot cam, 2 carburetors, and purred like a kitten.
But Perkins hated it right from the start. He said it was more like an ornery mountain lion than a kitten.
Yeah, old Perky was so mad about having to drive it that he not only got arrested for speeding, but as soon as we got here to the ranch, well, all heck busted loose. Hey, Marty, open the hood, quick!
It was a tough break for us, all right. For me and Spin, I mean, after all our hard work. But Moochie, as usual, thought it was a perfect start for a summer of fun.
Oh, boy, just like old times.
All right, Zip, here we are. This one. Here we go.
We had fun, too. Plenty of it. But we sure could have gotten along without those rabbits of Moochie's. We had to spend our whole first day building a house for them.
Boy, this is going to be a neat little house.
Yep, it's gonna be a homey little shack, all right. Here's your straw, Mooch.
Why don't you watch out what you're doing?
That was just the beginning. That night, Dynamite. You remember old Dynamite, the white stallion? Well, he came down from the hills and raided the corrals. Stole about a dozen of our best mares.
Skyrocket tried to warn us, but we were all too busy pounding our ears. Dynamite made his getaway and took to the hills.
Well, the next day, when Bill Burnett, he's our counselor, you remember, and a real swell guy, too, and Mr. Logan, the owner of the Triple R.
And he's okay, too.
Well, as I was saying, the next morning when they found out about the missing mares, Bill decided to go out in the range and find them.
And believe it or not, Mr. Logan let me and Marty go along with him. He figured that if we didn't know enough about horses by now to keep out of trouble, we never would.
However, he thought it might be a good idea for Perkins to come along with us, on account of Graham, you know. Come on, Perkins, quit stalling. Oh.
I've heard of better ideas. By noon, we were way out on the range, but not a sign of that wacky white stallion or any of the mares. Bill figured that he'd probably run them into the foothills, so on we went after him.
I guess you're surprised to see Moochie way out here on the range.
Well, we were pretty surprised ourselves when we found out about it later. You see, Mr. Logan wouldn't let him go along with us, but the minute his back was turned, the stubborn little rascal sneaked off after us. Oh, yes, he got punished for disobeying orders, all right, but that was later, too, much later.
Because in the meantime, he got lost, good and lost. He even tried to get little old Mr. Prairie Dog to help him find us, but no luck.
Hi! Have you seen Spin or Bill or Marty or even Dynamite? I guess it wouldn't do much good if you had. You couldn't tell me.
Did you ever try and get any information out of a prairie dog?
Well, by nightfall, we still hadn't caught up with Dynamite, so we decided to get a good night's rest and resume the search in the morning. That was when Moochie finally caught up with us.
My gosh, it's Moochie.
Moochie?
He's sound asleep. Hey, Mooch, wake up. Come on, wake up. It's Bill. Come on, Mooch.
Huh? What time is it? Where am I? What's going on around here? I didn't mean to run away. I'm sorry.
He'd been riding around the range all day and half the night, and by now he was a pretty scared little boy, and dead tired and remorseful and starved.
So what could we do but forgive him, feed him, and bed him down for the night, looking like the little pink angel he wasn't?
Well, Bill was just going to take Moochie back to the ranch so Mr. Logan could punish him as he deserved when we spotted Dynamite.
Hey, look.
And the chase was on.
And boy, what a chase it turned out to be.
Good gracious, what was that? Dynamite!
Oh, dear.
Dynamite! Gee up, Daisy! Oh!
Yep, you guessed it. Perkins turned out to be the hero of the whole thing.
Help! Somebody, help!
Even though it doesn't look much like it here.
Help! Help! Help!
Well, you've seen a few of the things that happened during the chase after Dynamite. And now I'd like to tell you about some of the things that happened back at the ranch while we were gone, and after we got back. Well, first of all, Joe, Speckle, and Ambitious and the rest of the kids decided to clean up my jalopy, sort of figuring to surprise me and Spin. Well, they surprised us all right.
Oh, brother.
Joe started up the motor to find out if the fire had hurt it any.
Holy smokes, it was in gear.
Was the end of the beautiful new stove that had set Mr. Logan back $200 or better. Spin and I didn't find out about it until we got back from the range, and then we realized that we were in real trouble. Of course, the kids hadn't done it on purpose, but we felt that it was only right and fair for us to pay for the damages. The question was, how? We only had $9.98 between us, and we didn't have a single thing we could sell or raise money on. Except Moochie's rabbits, and when somebody mentioned selling them, Moochie set up such a howl that we had to give up the idea.
Oh, no, you don't.
It was Darlene who finally came up with the idea that saved our shirt. She's the new girl over at the camp across the lake.
Yeah, she's swell.
Her mother's an actress. That's how she happened to think of the deal. Yeah, you guessed it. She sold us the idea of putting on a show and charging 50 cents apiece for the tickets. Mr. Logan bought the idea, too, and turned the barn over to us for use as a little theater. And we all worked like beavers, building the stage and painting the scenery and making costumes.
Darlene was the stage manager, and a darn good one, too. Ambitious was her assistant, and everything whizzed along in tip-top order.
Spin and I practiced a soft shoe routine. Boy, were we clumsy.
Speak for yourself.
Oh, wait a minute, fellas, please.
Well, anyway, Darlene and Perkins finally had to show us how to do it.
Perkins didn't need much rehearsing. He was pretty good right from the start.
Darlene had planned a Robin Hood skit, and everybody wanted to play Robin Hood. We all got so worked up about it that we even dreamed about it. Well, would you like to know who finally did and what happened? I'll tell you.
No, I'll tell you.
No, let me tell him. Nope, I'm not gonna tell you. The whole thing starts tomorrow and you can see for yourselves. Next episode, back to the Triple R.